Okay, everyone, welcome today. It's a great day on the Boulevard. We're here to announce yet another development on the Boulevard. I'm going to introduce the folks here first, starting with Councilmember Marvin Christ. You can clap. Representing Insight Development, Scott Ehrlich.
You don't have to clap.
Deputy Mayor Kit Yizetto. Vice Mayor Ron Smith. Attorney Stephen Derryberry. And Architect Merle McClernand. Oh, and Deputy City Manager Jason Caudill. We're going to introduce a few folks, and we have a few folks that have some things to say. What I'd like to start out saying is that there was a time long ago, and a lot of us were here, when businesses left the Boulevard 20, 30 years ago for locations out near the freeway or whatever. And what we're seeing now is a transformation where they're coming back. So when you hear from the city and hear from Insight Development, you know, they deserve a lot of credit for it. But what really who deserves the credit is people that make their choice to do their profession, their business on the Boulevard. So I'd like you to save your largest clap for when we do introduce, Stephen Derryberry. With that, to kick it off, I'd like to introduce Deputy Mayor Kit Yizetto.
It's amazing to see how quickly the Boulevard has developed. If you remember, just 2 years ago, at this time, the streets were still under construction. Since that time, more than 40 new businesses have joined the ranks of the Boulevard District, and the Boulevard continues to grow. By summer of 2013, Insight Development plans to complete a new 2-story, 8,000 square foot complex right here where we stand. The complex has been dubbed the Woolworth building, as this lot was once where the old Woolworth store used to be. In fact, you could still see the original tiles along the edge of the sidewalk, which Insight will keep with this complex. The Woolworth building will be a mixed-use complex housing the offices of local law firm Kessler Derryberry on the second floor, with several retail shops on the ground floor. We love how Insight Development and Scott Ehrlich are continuing to develop the Boulevard while bringing new businesses to the downtown area. I am excited to see these new investments continually being made into our community. Insight Development invests more than just finances into our downtown. They continue to pour their talents, creativity, and contagious enthusiasm into each project as they develop the Boulevard into an amazing destination for our community to enjoy. Thank you.
There's a lot of folks who have contributed to the Boulevard, a lot of businesses, 40 new businesses, the 1,100 people that constructed the Boulevard, and the 800 that work here. The next person, Vice Mayor Smith, had a lot of important contributions, but a lot of it goes unnoticed. When you're going through and building something, you focus a lot of times on the big picture, how wide is the street, and all of those things, costs obviously. But I give the Vice Mayor a lot of credit. It's the little things that matter too, that become big things. What the lights look like, the font of the Boulevard, the branding of it, and things of that nature, which give it its identity. And I think the Vice Mayor deserves a lot of credit for it, and I want to thank him for his contributions there. Vice Mayor Ron Smith.
You know, back when years and years and years ago when Mark was young, this was a destination, and things changed, and boulevards and downtowns go through this change where all of a sudden they become business districts and people aren't coming down here every day. And I used to go to LPAC and walk out after a show and, well, where's my car? I don't want to get mugged, and I want to get it to my car as fast as I can. And Brian can tell you about 9.5 years ago we were having a beer up in Monterey and hatched this idea, and everybody came up and said, you know, this is a dumb idea. Nobody wants to come down here. Yeah, well, now look at it. So now it's amazing. But it's also partners like Insight Development that have partnered with government that have made this successful, because without them, we wouldn't have been able to really do it. We could put the streets out here, made everything look pretty, but unless there was something down here to come and do, people still probably wouldn't have come down here. So I'd like to thank all of the businesses, and we have Adam Chant here, one of the business owners that have opened up here, and it's people like that that have decided to make this their stake. So thank you very much.
The next speaker is Scott Ehrlich. There's a lot of folks that are developers and a lot of people who can work with businesses. typical developer in a large chain store environment, mall or whatever, there's a cookie cutter approach. It takes a special kind of person to work with entrepreneurs, one-of-a-kind business owners, mom and pop stores. It takes a person that you can trust and who trusts the people they're working with. And it's really about relationships when you're working with those kind of businesses, which are the backbone of America. There's a lot of folks that can work with the big businesses. There's very few who can work successfully with the mom and pops and entrepreneurs. And Scott Ehrlich is one of them. Please welcome Scott Ehrlich.
This project I'm really excited about. I say that on all the different projects. And this one is no different for a couple reasons. Number one, architecturally, it's a vacant lot. And from the consultants that we had originally on the boulevard, they say people tend to stop walking when there's a vacant space between building to building. So this will continue the boulevard to head down that direction. Number two, it preserves a historic building. I love the fact that we are going to continue to use the Woolworth sign and name the building the Woolworth. It gives us, believe it or not, I remember Woolworths right by my house, the 5 and dimes, a little bit of nostalgia, and it keeps it here. Third, and I think the most important reason, is we are keeping people on the boulevard that have been on the boulevard a long time. Kessler, Derryberry, and they are currently our tenants. They had come to us and said, we want to stay on the boulevard. Our location, we realize, is not the ideal location where they're currently at. It's made for more commercial and retail space. And so for the last year and a half, we've been looking for a space to build their office, their headquarters, and I couldn't be more happy that we are keeping them on the boulevard. And what I think, here I'm going to put my foot in my mouth, but I actually believe our mayor is going to be very jealous of this building, and he's going to wish he moved here before. Am I in trouble? Probably. It's going to be a Class A building. Everything about it I love. I think it's architecturally significant. It will make this corner, which has a lot of tall buildings around it, it will fill in the mass. And I think everyone will look and say, God, I think it was here the whole time. And that's the secret of being a great architecture building. I'm excited at the prospect of Josh Mann, who's very active on the boulevard. He's considering, or more than considering, also relocating on the second floor. So again, keeping local people here on the boulevard. And it's our first build to suit. So with Kessler Derryberry, they designed the whole top floor. They worked with local architect Merrill, using a local contractor, Merrill, and local people to build it. But they got to build to suit, so they said, this is how we want our office to look. It's the first of hopefully more. If we can get more build to suit, so anybody who would like to relocate to the boulevard, please contact us, because we believe having the businesses on the boulevard is the next critical path to the success. I want to thank real quickly here city staff. They're all sitting back there. I won't even mention them. And nobody realizes how important they are to this deal. This deal financially, we put together very creatively, and it did not cost the city any money. But what no one realizes is the complexity to put them together, and leveraging other funds that the city was already using allows us to build this property. So I really don't think they get enough credit. I know the council gets a lot of credit, but it's city staff who's all back there. I just want to thank personally. Thank you.
One of the things, speaking of Mayor Parris and I and the council talked a lot about early on was having an engaging, safe community so that the next generation, those best and brightest students, want to stay. And that's important to the continuation of a community. Stephen Derryberry represents one of those people. He's a Quartz Hill High School graduate, and he could have gone anywhere after he graduated, but he chose to come here. One of the stories he told me that I always remember was that the LPAC was one of his first introductions to the boulevard and to Lancaster, and that he began a long love affair with arts and music and such. So what that shaped him. And the boulevard will help shape future generations, but we're very proud that one of our own, a person who graduated from Quartz Hill High School, has come back in partnership with Tom to create this beautiful building. So I'd like to introduce Stephen Derryberry.
6 years ago, I came down to the boulevard to meet with Tom Kessler about joining his firm. He gave me his business card. His address is on Lancaster Boulevard, and I hadn't been down here in years. I'd been 7 years in college. I came back, and did a circle once, then I did it again, and I thought, man, this is terrible. I don't want to work down here. Nonetheless, I came down here and I did. The naysayers want to say that a law practice is bad for the Boulevard. I mean, I have full-time staff that eat at all the restaurants down here. I have dozens of clients a week that come through my office that eat at the restaurants. They shop at the shops. I know my wife single-handedly keeps Simply Spoiled in business. But this site here has a lot of meaning to me. October 9th, 2010, I actually proposed to my wife on this space right here, right in front of the bulldozer. So I plan on blowing up a big picture of that scene and keeping it in my office to always remember. This site here is going to be something special. You think of Santa Barbara and State Street, Santa Monica, Ventura Boulevard, mixed-use properties where you have retail on the bottom floor, office space on the second floor. Really, I have to thank Scott and his staff for the insight, no pun intended, on bringing this to the Boulevard. Fact of the matter is I'll have window space looking at the Boulevard, and we don't obstruct any of the retail. We have our clients will come into our office and they'll be able to experience something new. And I hope there's more of this development here on the Boulevard, mixed-use office space on the second floor. It's really good for business. I can't thank the city staff enough for the cooperation. I'm really excited to be here. I'm looking to grow my firm as a result of having more space here. We have what's been known the Ugly Brown building, and a couple years ago we were the only tenant in there. I think when Scott acquired the building. So we're really excited to move down here. We're looking forward to growing and watching the Boulevard grow. And again, I have to thank the city and Insight Development.
So thank you, everyone, for coming. Everyone here will be available for interviews afterwards. We're very excited to watch the progress on this wonderful development. Thank you again.